We're at Fort William for the first round of the 2024 World Cup Series. We're bringing you the best bikes and kit from the pits. Let's go. We're here with Oisin O'Callaghan, who won his first World Cup last year. Oisin, you're on a new bike this weekend.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about it?
So here's my brand new 2024 YT Tues, and we have a few more options this year with the new bike. We have full 29 I've opted for, but we do have some options to go MX or 29. We also have a long and short mode on the chainstay now, which allows for more adjustment, and we also have a BB adjuster on the shock. I've gone full 29 with an extra long rear end in long mode, so that's plus 15 on the back, and 6mm forward reach adjust by Works.
So the frame is a large, but you've gone for the XL rear end.
Yeah, I usually try and balance the reach with the rear end to be kind of as close as possible, just to make it more balanced in the middle of the bike.
And I can see that you've got some custom touches on your bike. You've got the gold fork.
Yeah.
So that's really cool looking. It's matching your kit as well. You mentioned that you've got 29er wheels front and rear. What are you doing this weekend at Fort William to make sure you don't get any punctures?
I'm quite good. I don't get too many punctures, touch wood. So I actually don't run any inserts. Just a personal preference. I think it's what the rider chooses. I find that the bike accelerates faster without inserts, and I prefer kind of more of a reactive feeling.
You're going to be going as fast as possible this weekend, but when you do need to stop, what brakes have you got on your bike?
So we have the new TRP Evo Pros, which should be coming out pretty soon. I've been running them almost a year now, with big 223 rotors on the back, and I'm quite impressed, even better than the original ones, which I know lots of people were happy about. So these definitely stop us.
And tell us about your suspension setup here at Fort William. You said you were running a custom tune last year.
Yeah.
What's your fork and shock like?
So this year we have the new Fox suspension, the 50 years anniversary, which is sick looking with the gold forks. And I have 4 tokens with 94 PSI. We're still playing around with settings, but we're adding on slowly a bit more compression to the old one.
On your cranks, I can see you've got an O-chain spider there. Tell us what it does and why you run it.
So I've been using the O-chain for 2 years, and on this bike we have it on 12 degrees with one of the new ones that's actually more sealed. So just reduces pedal kickback, gives a nicer, smoother ride, and I suppose allows us to go faster. Every little bit helps.
What's your favourite part about your new bike?
My favourite part's probably the frame, more so the fact it just fits me, and overall it's just a bit more smooth.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for giving us the time, and best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
So we're here with Laurie Greenland. He's doing his warm-up before practice. Laurie, you're wearing a rather special outfit today. Can you tell us about it?
So this is a concept Fox had come up with. It's kind of like a 2-piece speed suit, they call it. So yeah, something where also you can incorporate more body armour in less clothing. So one of the annoying things about wearing loads of armour and stuff is how many layers you end up with on, kind of, especially if you wear a base layer, you can pretty quickly become like really overbuilt. So this is a concept that's meant to integrate all the protection and all the speed in 2 pieces, basically. Kind of cool. It means I'm actually wearing more armour than I ever have before and feeling more comfortable than I did before. So definitely a funny one. I wasn't sure on the concept when they first brought it to me. I was a bit like, whoa, I'm not sure about this, but now it's fully on and kind of branded up, everything like that. I don't think when you're on the bike it actually looks that different, so yeah.
What's it like to put on? How do you get into it?
For anyone who's familiar on putting on a wetsuit, it's exactly the same concept as that. Your body armour has sleeves attached to it like that's the armour there, and then your trousers have got this vest sort of base layer thing over the top. Yeah.
Oh, cheers, Laurie. Thanks very much. Thanks for taking the time. Hopefully you don't need any of that body armour this weekend, and best of luck in the race.
Thanks, man. Cheers, dudes.
We're with Laurie Greenland's race mechanic, Husky. How's it going, Lee?
Yeah, pretty well.
Can you talk us through Laurie's bike and why it's got all sorts of wires all over it this morning?
Yeah, so Laurie Greenland's new V10.8, so they've been through like many generations over the years now, so it's just been like something that's been revised over time. We've got plenty of adjustability in the bike. We've got adjustable headset cups in the front here. We've got a flip chick that we can change in the shop. We can change the rear axle position also, so we've got 3 positions here. Laurie runs it actually in 0 in the front here, low at the shock and mid in the rear.
And what size frame is it?
It's a medium and it's a standard production frame, so anyone can go out here, buy this frame.
And it's good enough to race at World Cup level?
Yeah, that's it, no failures so far. Yeah, Fox suspension throughout. Laurie prefers the feel of coil, so we're coil on the rear. We've got the BYB data kit on this week, so just get as much data as we can collect throughout the season, just to dial the bike, get the bike balanced. We're on 1-up components for cockpit, 35mm Rise e-bike bar on this one, so it's more compliant than any of the other bars they make. Laurie likes the feel of it. It's a bit of a pain in the bum for me because I have to glue his grips on, and there's a channel underneath for a wire that we don't use because it doesn't have a motor. Chris King hubs on reverse wheels.
And is there anything on this bike that is custom for Laurie?
There is nothing custom, no. Shimano have been very good to us. They've made a prototype crankset that we can fit an O-chain to. They're actually slightly shorter than production cranks.
What length does Laurie run?
These are 160. I mean, we'll probably look further down the line as having shorter cranks at some point. But,
even shorter, wow, okay.
But for now, yeah, this works. Yeah, but yeah, everything else is production, so yeah.
Cool, well, thanks for taking the time to talk to us and best of luck this weekend.
Cheers, fella.
We're here with intense factory racing rider Joe Breeden. Joe, tell us about the new M1.
The new M1 is quite the beast. I'm obsessed. We've spent several years developing it, and now it's finally come to production, and I couldn't be happy with the final piece, so pretty hyped.
How do you find the high pivot design compares to the older intense race bike?
Yeah, it's very different. Obviously they've redesigned it from the ground up. I'd say this is a World Cup race bike. Like, it's fantastic, it eats everything, it tracks unbelievably well, yet you can still generate a huge amount of speed. So the biggest time consumer, should we say, for the development process was trying to find something that tracked really, really well, felt unbelievably supple, but still you could generate speed and like have fun in bike park berms and jumps, etc. And obviously that sounds like an impossible balance, but I think we found sort of the best combination of something that goes amazingly well in a straight line and something that is snippy, snappy around all the corners.
Fantastic, and I've seen that you've got some interesting mods on your bike that are specific to you. Can you talk us through firstly the shock and the wizardry on the side of that? What does that do?
Yeah, the shock is, I got a hands down to JTech, one of our suspension partner who does a lot of our tuning and servicing. I asked him, like, I really want a lockout system, a system to be able to like dial in between the different high-speed compression modes on this bike, because with the Oisin shock there's like 3 significant positions, and I wanted a way which I could access them down the run. So his idea was to, I think he 3D printed a few sort of mounts for the shock with a spring, and then he's modded and reconfigured an old SLX 3-speed shifter from the, I don't know, probably a road bike, or I don't even know, I've never ridden a 3-speed in my life before. So he's modified it so that it works and I can cycle through every compression mode. Yeah, whatever section of track I'm on, I can get it into the exact mode I want.
I've noticed something attached to both sides of your handlebars which might help you on the rougher parts. Can you tell us what they are?
Yeah, they're hard to miss, aren't they? They stand out like a sore thumb right now, but very, very early stages of prototype, that's for sure.
Well, hopefully it all works out for you this weekend. Best of luck in the race, Joe.
Brilliant, thank you very much, Will. Appreciate that.
We always strive to bring you the most weird and wonderful things here on MB UK. And this bike behind me is perhaps one of the coolest things we've seen at Fort William World Cup. Now, it's ridden by Martin Maes. You'll probably know him as an enduro racer, but you might not know that 10 years ago, he won a downhill World Cup. So Martin is here racing. That shouldn't be a surprise. We know he's got the speed. What is really interesting is the bike he's on. Now, it comes out of the Orbea optimization labs, and this is their Wild, which is actually Orbea's e-bike. Now, don't worry, Martin's not going to be in trouble with the commissaires. This is not assisted in the configuration it's in. We can see that it's got a mullet setup. We can see that what looks like a carbon front triangle. We know it's got a Fox 40 on the front, So Orbea clearly think that this bike can handle a dual crown fork. We're not allowed to show you under the neoprene cover, that's top secret. Hopefully Martin goes well on this bike this weekend. It's an absolutely unique setup, really cool to see a company experimenting with something different. So Orbea don't have a full downhill bike. We don't know if that's something that's coming in the future, but this is a seriously cool custom setup that Martin is going to be racing here at Fort William. So we've managed to grab the bike from reigning world champion Charlie Hatton, who won Worlds at this very track last year. The main news is that all the settings, like the suspension, are within one click from where they were last year. So Charlie knows this bike works, that's what he's going with. But there are a few changes. First off, there's the new Fox suspension. So the gold Fox 40 up front with the Grip X2 damper, and then on the back, the new Fox DHX2 coil. And secondly, the rainbow stripes. Charlie earned them here last year and they're resplendent on his bike. The rest of the bike is as you'd expect. So it's the Atherton AM200 frame. He's got a mullet setup, so 29 on the front, 27.5 on the back. Conti tyres. He's got the O chain on there in the max 12-degree position. It's the non-adjustable one, which has better sealing. Under the bottom bracket shell is half a kilo of lead. Charlie uses this to keep the bike tracking as it should and reduce the ratio of sprung to unsprung weight on the bike. Hopefully, Charlie can produce this weekend. Go on, Charlie. Thank you so much for joining us here at Fort William. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like and subscribe for more. And don't forget to let us know which of these bikes was your favourite by leaving a comment below. And if you want to see more great bikes from the Fort William World Cup, click the link here. In case you want a couple more horsepower this weekend, you'll have noticed a few scooters floating around the Fort William pits. This beast has 125 cc's, full suspension and tiny wheels. Let's go.